Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Futures Brizio here. That's my old name. 12:20 p.m. on Tuesday, April 30th. Hope everybody's had a good morning. Just kind of I guess, a midday update. And so I just wanted to point out a couple of things here on the Nasdaq and the S&P futures. So here on the 10-minute chart. And you can see these two rectangles I have here. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Okay, so first if we look at this box right here, and maybe the 20-minute chart, you can see this area was previous resistance, kind of resistance and support, support. And then today, or was this yesterday? No, this was yesterday. No, this was today. Then today, this was 8:30 news this morning. We blew right through this zone, okay? And we closed below it right here. Now, we didn't take out this low from yesterday, but we did get a close below here. And then we retraced back into the zone, and then eventually we broke and closed down at this kind of demand level, at this old demand level down here where price has not revisited, and it now appears to have revisited that zone. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because this is kind of like a retail trap here where, traders are seeing this zone as a support zone where price will react and go back up and continue the uptrend from. But if you just look a little bit lower, you can see that there clearly was an area. Now, if you're a supply and demand trader, I would say this is a perfect little demand zone right here where price has not revisited. This area in here has been revisited multiple times, which makes it weaker and weaker. Now, a lot of times you're going to hear just the opposite. You say, well, 3 or more touches on an area means it's an important area and price will react from. Well, the more price hits a particular area, it kind of weakens it, because eventually there's no more orders sitting here. And yes, there will be a reaction because people see it, but it's not going to hold. And that's what we saw today. We saw this pre-market news candle at 8:30 this morning, came down and closed below it. That's your first sign this area is not holding anymore. Okay, then this is just simply like a dead cat bounce back into the zone again. It looked like it was going to go higher. It wicked out. It never took out this swing high just above here. Again, so telltale sign number 2. And then, we proceeded to go lower. And you can see price came right back to this area right here. Now, I don't know if it's going to go higher now. I'm not in anything, as you can see, but I'm watching this area now to see, what it does. If we go to a 5-minute time frame, we do kind of have, a zone right here on the 5-minute time frame, which is kind of like the swing low. If we can go to the 1 minute here, we can see it. This was kind of the last swing high right here before this low was put in. Now we came up, we came down, came back towards this low, and now we're heading back again. So there is a potential for a long setup here if this kind of moves back higher. Now I want to look at the NQ, and the NQ is a little different. You can see I had these lines drawn in for that exact same move. But if we zoom out a little bit, the NQ did not come back into this area, at least not yet. Now, maybe it will still turn and come down. It's just a little behind the S&P. They usually move pretty much in tandem. Though obviously they're different markets. So on the NQ, this is our zone right here. So they're not exactly in agreement with each other right now. It looks like the NQ either hasn't made its low yet, or it has and it just didn't make it back to this zone. And maybe it's more of a situation with I would say I don't really see a fair value gap in here. I'm not a big fan of fair value gaps, but I know SMC traders like fair value gaps. I don't really see that, like where price went to, this purple line. I don't really see that. So I'm not sure, what this is going to do. I would have loved to have seen this. To be honest with you, I was in a short from up here. I'm out of it now. I trailed my stop down to here, and it tagged it a little while ago, so I'm out of this now, which is fine. I still made a pretty decent profit. I did have a loss on this long this morning, but I'm still plus for the day even with that. So So that's fine. And it doesn't mean there won't be another opportunity this afternoon. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this, but I wanted to point out that, I guess the main thing I wanted to point out was that these areas up here, like this one, is kind of a retail trap, because everybody's like, well, this is an area it's reacted from before, so it's going to react to again. Well, not necessarily. And that's exactly what happened here. It popped through. We closed below it, which we didn't do anywhere in here. All right. All these times it closed back inside this range. Today we closed outside of it. Here on this, you can see this 20-minute candle is the best view of it when it made its lowest low, and you can see in here it never did that. And so then it retraced and came back down. And again, this is the ES back into this zone, and we'll see what happens. On the NQ, we had a similar situation in terms of the area not being respected. We can draw a very similar rectangle right here, okay, and same thing happened. We popped through and closed below, retraced, came down. So we're going to see what happens here this afternoon, whether we get any movement on this, back to the upside. In terms of the Williams percent range, again, we did kind of have a confirmation of that, and I mentioned yesterday that the 20-minute chart is kind of my preferred one, and you can see on this candle right here this morning, the Williams percent range indicator did break out of the overbought area and did close below it. You can see right here. Okay, and then it retraced back with the price, and then it went down here, and now it's just skimming along the oversold area. And it's the same thing on the ES. It's the exact same pattern. You can see on the ES though, once it got into this zone down here, it got in really quickly off the 20-minute chart. Okay, and then it came back into the mid-range and then fell again. Okay, that probably has more to do with the setting of the Williams percent range. If I change this to 150, let's just change it to 150. It probably will. Yeah, see, if we change it to 150, then we never really got that push down into oversold. But the key takeaway is that we did get this sell signal on this 830 candle right here. Okay, so the Williams percent range did give us that signal, okay, and basically ignored this whole zone right here. And then again, this is just a dead cat bounce retracement. Unless it was going to go up and take out this swing right here, then this would definitely be considered a shorting opportunity, just based on the fact that it didn't take out this swing. If it did, then it probably would have pushed higher, but it didn't, obviously, and it's come back down again. Okay, so let's see what it does the rest of the day. Just switching over to gold really quick. So, I'm not sure this area is going to hold on gold. I mean, unlike with the S&P and the NASDAQ, if we go out to an hourly chart, we were clearly making higher highs, higher lows. See, this is the hourly chart. It's a little messy in here, but that's being maintained. And this was the last swing before this high was made. So to me, this is the swing low right here. But if you go to gold, we've been making essentially lower highs here on the hourly chart. Lower highs, and we pulled back. Okay, now we did take out this swing high, this swing right here. We did take it out on this action. So it'll be interesting to see what it does from this level, whether we get a push back out of here higher, that this is a buying opportunity. And if we break this low and we take out this area pretty definitively, then going out to a 4-hour chart, I think there's a lot further run to the downside, probably at least back to this area down here. So gold's at a very interesting spot right now, and we'll just, I'm going to sit and see what this one does. As I mentioned yesterday, there are sometimes opportunities to trade gold for a limited period in the afternoon, like between 1 and 3 o'clock New York time. So that'll be coming up in the next 30 to 45 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, to see that if that opportunity unfolds. And it'll be interesting to see, will there be a trade? Will it be a reversal trade and we trade up for a couple hours, or will this pop through here and we'll continue to have an opportunity to go short? I'm going to keep an eye on it. Right now, the Williams percent range, down here, 10-minute chart, 12-minute, 15, 20-minute chart, all these low time frames, it's well below well down into the oversold range. So there's no signal for a long. If anything, it's just short continuations. But we're going to, see what happens with that and see if we can maybe squeeze something out this afternoon if it gives us a signal. So just want to provide that update and just kind of let you know what was happening here. And you can see just one last quick look here is that NASDAQ looks like it wants to try to push down lower. And again, I would love to see NASDAQ push down into this zone right here and then potentially bounce us kind of the way I have these arrows drawn. It'll kind of bum me out that I got stopped out of this too soon, but we'll see. Now, and we look at the S&P as we speak. We now are trying to poke through this area. And if this area holds, and this is more like a liquidity sweep, and we see this Williams percent range try to move back higher again, then this would be a really good buying opportunity to take this higher again. But we'll see what it does here. So this could be a critical area to watch on both of these right now over the next little bit. And we may have to wait. We may see, the NQ, spike down here, just hit even the top of this zone and then move back higher. It kind of depends where you want to draw this, We could draw it to here. I'm just looking over at these candles. This is the last down candle, but that's on this time frame. If I go to the 15-minute chart, this is the last down candle right here. So we'll see where this goes. But I will be keeping an eye on these to see whether there's any opportunity for a reversal trade this afternoon, or if we're just going to kind of stall out here, or if we're going to break lower. So, I just let the market tell me what it wants to do, and, we'll go from there. All right, guys, so I will leave it there. Maybe we'll update this later, and you can see we're moving right now and just kind of see where things end up. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of the afternoon.